Alrighty, recording. So, hi you guys, and welcome. Why is it doing that noise? That was annoying. I'm gonna sit still, I guess. My bad, you guys. We taking this one over. So, hi and welcome to my channel. I'm back with a new reaction video. So, we're gonna check out some more from Larry Bird. And I just want to say the first reaction I did to him, I said, like, what do you guys think about they keep saying, like, that he's white? Like, oh, this white guy doing this and that. And now I understand that, like, black people dominated the sport. Still do to this day, right? So it was very rare to see a white guy like Larry Bird do the things that he did. So now I understand it more, but I just thought it was odd that they kept pointing that out. But I understand now, so... that was that. But we're gonna check out a video called NBA Legends and Players Explain how scary good Larry Bird was. Do we have another Larry Bird today? Let me know. Probably not. But anyways, I'm not gonna ramble. Let's get straight into this video. Let's go. Alrighty, you guys. Let's go.
Hey man, it's your boy YG, aka Yangala, and Larry Bird is one of those guys we have to put respect on because he was cooking your favorite player in the 80s. And what made him so special is that he can shoot lights out and his IQ was off the charts. That's what really made him unguardable. And the cherry on top of all of that is that he will talk a whole lot of trash. And it was so
very tall point guard.
Disrespectful. I'm not gonna say anything because the NBA Legends gonna talk about it, but Larry Bird was so good that he scored 47 points with his left hand. It was getting too easy for him in his prime. And I hate how people don't think Larry Legend won't survive in today's league just because he wasn't the most athletic. But that doesn't make any sense because there's players like Luka Doncic who are unathletic but skilled. If anything, Larry Bird will excel in this league. Just his shooting alone will make him a threat. This is an all-time great we talking about here. Legends will find any way to dominate the game. So anyways, man, we're gonna listen to NBA Legends and Players talk about how scary good prime Larry Bird was. But before we get straight to that, make sure you like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for the culture so you won't be missing any of my videos. And let's get to the vid, man.
Enjoy yourself, dog. You bitch.
Hold on, why is it so low? We gotta hear this. What is MJ saying? Cannot miss a second.
Enjoy yourself, dog. You bitch, fuck you. Y'all gave us the run for our money. Yeah. I'll see you. All right, take care. Now you can work on that golf game of yours.
One of the greatest players ever played this game.
Oh.
A kid from French Lick, Boston, and one of the few guys ever be in a three-point contest and shoot with a warm-up shirt on. And but just as like he played till he couldn't play no more. Obviously, we know that he just played till he literally couldn't play the game no more. He gave everything he had. And for young guys that don't know him, they think of Larry Bird as a jump shooter, but he was so much more than that. He was a passer. He averaged double-digit rebounds. He defended. He took charges, and he's a straight-up complete basketball player. And me as a small forward. Scotty, Bird, Doc, George Gervin, so guys that I kind of looked up to being a small forward, and they kind of set the precedence of what it is to, go out there as a professional and give it all. So, I've always been a big fan of Larry Bird, and, if I'm linked with any other greats, especially like him, that's pretty cool.
Magic, James Worthy, Kurt Rambis, Kareem Abdul, all the Laker greats, I would always sit down and just ask them questions about certain games that I studied growing up. What actually happened there? What did you feel there? Why? Bird tough to defend. Why? Because you look slow as shit to me. So like, I'm missing something. So tell me what I'm missing. You know what I mean?
Kind of complimented Larry in the past. Is that kind of a cool thing?
Hell yeah! Somebody texted me after the game and showed me a screenshot, and I was giddy like a little kid. I mean. Grew up watching Larry Bird, and, well, not really, he's older, but you grew up kind of knowing the legend of Larry Legend, and so to be amongst the greats That's all you really want to do. That's a great accomplishment, but I keep going. Just a love for the game and love for practice and love for shooting. I think that we're similar in those areas, but he allowed players like myself to kind of dream big and think big at that position and to do things that traditional small forwards, I guess, or
So
big
what
men
with
weren't
the
doing.
position and size stood out?
He's one of the first guys you see.
Patterned my game, who I wanted to be like, who I wanted to play like after Larry Bird, so I was torn. So I love them both, and to have a chance to play against Larry early on in my career and then kind of be under his leadership when he took over as head coach, it was a thrill for me because that was, one of the players that, I really idolized and patterned my game after.
What Larry was able to do on and off the court, it defied description, and it was very much like being on tour with the Grateful Dead, in that you never knew what was going to happen. You knew it was going to be fun. You knew it was going to be great. You knew it was going to be dynamic. You knew it was going to be explosive. But you could never say, that's what's going to happen.
What was that? He didn't score, but he did the work. Sheesh. And is that against my Hawks?
I think his first 8 or 10 points were left-handed. And at that point, McHale was still coming off the bench. And so Larry scores his 6th point on some kind of left-handed shot.
Bird against Kersey.
I love it.
And McHale goes, hey, Jerome, wait till he starts shooting right-handed.
James for Bird, another three-point try.
Well, left-handed is one thing, but when the game got close, I had to go back to the right one. I think it went right down the wire, and we might have won by 1 point.
Beat you right there. You got to keep them under control. They don't.
I went to shake his hand. He wouldn't shake my hand. And I remember saying to myself, well, maybe he's just getting into the game. And I remember the first play of the game, he said, you don't even belong in this league, Holmes. And he shoots a three. I'm like, I wasn't mad he made a three. I said, did he just call me Holmes? But I remember after the first time, I made a great play against him. I remember him saying, he said, you got some toughness, man. I like you. But he said, I'm still getting 40 tonight. He got about 38, so he kind of proved his point. I mean, I knew he was a super player before I came into the NBA, but when I had a chance to play against Larry Bird, and I can count on one hand the type of guys like him that you had to be totally focused in on. If you didn't, he would embarrass you.
Bird 6.
Okay.
Bird, for those that don't know, won 3 straight MVPs in the league with the Showtime Lakers and Michael Jordan and the Bad Boys present. 3 straight MVP.
So you would say that was the baddest white boy ever?
No question. It's not even a guess. No doubt.
Okay.
No doubt.
He said, let me cry.
That was a tough night, man. And he would tell you to play and catch it over there and shoot it.
Larry Bird. He was not a nice guy.
He talked to everybody. He was talking trash all the time, man. But fun.
And they called a timeout, and he turned around and looked at me and said, I'm going to score right here on you.
And he came back out and hit about 10 in a row on me. And the last one was left-handed. And he asked me if my mother was watching.
He was calling shots off the glass. Who's next? Where you want this one from? And he just made one after another. When he got to about the 55th point.
Not bad. I missed it. I'm trying to, the volumes are weird in the video. I cannot miss these moments.
Shots off the glass. Who's next? Where you want this one from? And he just made one after another. When he got to about the 55th point,
crazy.
You knew it was something special. Even as a player, and that usually doesn't happen, but we were down so much at the time, you had time to realize the game.
We're on the free throw line, and he literally says, left side across the 3, and you're listening to him. That's a tough feeling.
Yeah, that was the one game that I think he tortured Dominique. He saw Dominique, this up-and-coming player, and he just tortured him mentally that game. He tortured all of them.
I mean, it was mind-blowing. I think Bird went by the bench one time, too.
He fell in the bench.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, and he called that one. That was the one where he fell in it. He literally said, off the glass
Look at
into
the
the tournament.
Hawks bench.
No way.
Yeah, and so it was a bad night.
It's going to be a 3, and it's going to be off the bench. And then he said, who wants it? And I think Ricky Brown, I'm not for sure who it was, ran out after him. And he shot this high rainbow. It goes in. Ricky bumps into him and accidentally knocks him on our trainer's lap. So it was exactly what he said.
Antoine Carr and Cliff Levingston got fined by Fratello, I think. For
And Eddie Johnson for celebrating.
Celebrating Bird.
Yeah, it was the best film session. Every time when I see Mike, we still laugh.
God,
it was the greatest film session ever, because back then you didn't have, you watched the real game and just went, with a video, and Mike rewound the celebration 20 times. He just kept, not the shot, he just kept rewinding it, showing the guys, you remember they were giving each other high five.
And then somebody falls off the bench,
Yeah,
too.
that was Eddie Johnson.
Yeah.
Eddie Johnson falls off the bench in laughter.
I mean, everybody was entertained by this. Even
That's one
the guys on the Atlanta
They
bench.
got fined for that, I heard.
Yeah. Watch the reactions on the Atlanta bench. You see Scotty Hastings put that watch Cliff Levingston over here.
Getting credit for his due.
And our film session was 20
I had
minutes
goosebumps,
of
by the way. My
At the
legs
three-point
and arms.
competition, walking in the locker room, who's playing? Did you really say that? Who's playing for second?
Yeah, I did. I felt so bad.
Yeah, when you walked in and asked who was going to get second place in the three-point contest, when you walked out,
Why are you so
walked in
close?
there, what were you thinking when you made that announcement to the room? Just messing with all those guys like you always did with
Yeah, I
everybody?
didn't. I had no clue. I never really practiced. Me and Danny used to shoot some before we went out there. Everybody's sitting there. Everybody's real quiet. You really didn't. You knew the guys, but you never were around them.
Three-point contest at the All-Star break, and Larry walks in and says, I hope all you guys in here are thinking about second place because I'm winning this. Excuse me?
In fact, there was one game in Cleveland.
In Cleveland, and he told me where he was going and where he was going to shoot.
Nah, I won't hear about it.
Okay.
I won't hear about it.
It was 91-92 season, and we was playing the Boston Celtics. It was Bird, McHale, Parrish, the great three, Ainge, and we was up 1. Okay.
Where he was having a pretty rough first half, and in the old days in Cleveland, you walked off the court the same way at halftime, and I kind of puffed up on him and walked beside him and was like, yeah, you're 1 for 10. I was like, that's defense, and he just kind of looked at me and said, there's 2 halves. And he came back out and hit about 10 in a row on me.
And we was up 1. Okay. He said, who's guarding me as we come out of timeout? Now, remember, I'm a rookie because Price is out because he hurt. Right. He says, who's guarding me? I says, Craig Elo. He says, why you got that white boy on me? Don't put no white boy on me.
He said that was the most.
Now, remember, Larry Bird is white.
Right.
I didn't get it in the first video. Now I get it.
Last one was left-handed, and he asked me if my mother was watching.
Bird didn't talk trash to you,
Oh,
did
my God. Bird talked trash to everybody.
But did he get to a point where he had respect for you?
I always tell this story about Larry Bird. I remember him, he was cursing under his breath. And I asked him, I said, Larry, what's going on with you? He says, you guys are being disrespectful to me. And I says, what are you talking about? He says, you guys are putting a white guy on me. That's disrespectful.
Wait, who's the white guy you put on him?
I can't remember who it was. I just started laughing. I had no comeback. He says, it's disrespectful when y'all put a white guy on me.
Bird used to tell people, I remember he told me a story about Xavier McDaniel. He said,
The X-Man, yeah.
X, I'm going to get the ball right here. I'm going to shoot a jumper right in your face.
It was a tie game. They had the ball, and DJ was stalling the basketball.
You see him?
Larry was kind of standing outside behind him, like
Constantly
denying him
moving.
the ball. And they called a timeout, and he turned around and looked at me and said, I'm going to score right here on you. And I said, I know you will. I'll be ready.
Tie game, 13
seconds to play. Celtics basketball.
During the timeout, I'm going through a play, and about that time, Larry steps in and says, Coach, why don't you just give me the ball and tell everybody to get out of the way? That's Larry. And when he wants the ball, he wants the ball. After the timeout, we walked back on the court, and then Xavier was guarding him. So he tells Xavier, he says, I'm getting the ball.
And Larry said, I'm going to get it right here, Ed, and I'm going to shoot it in your face. He hit it and looked at me, and he was like, damn. I didn't mean to leave nothing on the clock. He shot a shot right in my face. I just looked back, and the ball just went in. Hit all net. He said, I told you so. And you know, he was like, I didn't mean to leave 2 seconds on the clock. He wanted to shoot it with 0 seconds on the clock. I walked back to the sideline like, dang.
A lot of people don't know this. You probably know this, Dan, but Larry Bird was one of the biggest trash talkers in basketball. And a lot of people say, really? You know, they thought it was Reggie or Charles. Larry Bird talked more trash on the basketball court than anybody I've ever played against. And he told me 2 things one game. You know, our rotations, double teaming Kevin McHale always had to rotate to the corner, and Larry Bird was the one shooting it. You know, so he shot one, and I mean, I'm trying to block this shot, and he would just tell me, Scott, you're a little too late. You know, a little too late. So we playing him, in the last play, he says to James Worthy, he said, you guys don't have to worry about it. I'm going to go right over there that corner. He said, they're going to set a screen for me. We're taking the ball out. He said, I'm going to curl right over. And he's telling us to play. He's telling us to play before they even take it out. He said, I'm going to go right over to that corner, and I'm going to catch it, and I'm going to shoot it, and I'm going to tie the game or win the game, whatever the case may be. They take the ball out, and I think it was either Danny or
DJ?
The late, great DJ.
Yeah.
Take the ball out, man curl right to the corner, caught the shot, shot a 3,
and
game over. It's like, are you effing kidding me? It's my Larry Bird story.
Beyond an acute awareness of his own commercial potential, Bird waged psychological warfare at the drop of a ball.
The '84 Olympic team was playing an exhibition game against a bunch of pros, including Larry Bird, and they were in the warm-ups. And a ball bounced down from the college end of the court to the pro end. And Michael Jordan went down to chase it. The ball happened to be picked up by Larry Bird. And Michael went up a few feet away from Larry Bird and held out his hands. And Bird took the ball and fired it back down the court over Jordan's head, as if to say, you're not only not getting this ball, I don't give a damn who you are. Larry Bird knows exactly who this guy is and what's going to happen in the next few years. And he wants to get every edge he can get right now.
So guys, hopefully y'all realize how great Larry Bird was.
Yeah.
Because the man can do it all. He was
This
not only
cleared
a
up
shooter,
a
he
lot.
can play, make, rebound, and was an underrated defender. He was on the NBA All-Defensive Team 3 times during his prime. So please put respect on Larry Legend's name, because he inspired players like LeBron James. So make sure you like, share, subscribe, and show love to the
Beautiful.
YG gang. And now I'm out.
So much goosebumps, and this video definitely cleared things up more. The more you know, the more fun it is, and like I understand a lot more how it was back then. And, like, you know, it's really good when it's still crazy good to this day, the moves and everything. And yeah, he can not only shoot. They say his athleticism was, but those passes were golden. Golden. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up here. I hope you guys enjoyed this one as much as I did. Appreciate you for requesting it and watching it together with me. And if you made it to the end, thank you. And I will see you in the next video. Like, comment, and subscribe. All that good stuff too if you enjoyed. Bye.